I've been smelling my hole. I just got a sex change. It's already infected. It smells like shit and decay. Really good chance I'm gonna one day. At least I'll get more attention than all those normie gays. It's a damn shame what the world's gotten to when a creature like me believes that it's true that he could just wake up and not be a dude. But he is. Oh, he is living as a new girl with a Y chromosome. You ask which men can be women, I'll tell you which can. The ones that trade their pole for a hole, and that hole really stinks, and it's covered in goo, and it smells like a combo of roadkill and poop. If I don't dilate it, it will heal shut and fill in. Tell me which man can be women. There's a global mission to turn peepees to giners. They'll do it to minors, they don't care. Lord, I got gigantic feet, but I cut off my meat. Both my butt cheeks are covered in hair. Still got an Adam's apple the size of a planet. My name used to be Craig, but I changed it to Janet. Got brainwashed by the internet, left holding the bag. I cut my penis off. I could have just been a It's a damn shame what the world's gotten to when a creature like me believes that it's true that he can just wake up and not be a dude. But he is. Oh, he is living as a new girl with a Y chromosome. You ask which man can be women, I'll tell you which can. The ones that trade their pole for a hole, and that hole really stinks, and it's covered in goo, and it smells like a combo of roadkill and poop. If I don't dilate it, it will heal shut and fill in. Tell me which man can be women. I've been smelling my hole. I got a sex change, and now I regret it. I should have just been fucking gay. Just been fucking gay.
I have a competition in me. I want no one else to succeed. I hate most people.
Now let's blow some shit up.
A listener named Ryan Harkness, he hit one out of the park.
Bunch of slap-jawed around here. This stuff will make you a goddamn sexual tyrannosaurus. Just like me.
I can't see without his glasses.
1 minute we're laughing, the next minute he's dead. Why would God let this happen?
37. My girlfriend sucked 37 dicks.
In a row?
Listen up, Tampa Bay. Hollywood Hulk Hogan here.
I think I ate the bones. I ate the bones. I ate the bones.
Sinkhole. Sinkhole.
I spit on your spit.
I piss on your spit.
I shit on your piss.
I fart on your shit.
I laugh at your part.
We are friends again. Hey, I piss on your spit. I piss on your spit. I shit on your spit. I fart on your shit. I laugh at your part. We are friends again. Hey.
Hey.
Hey, I piss on your spit. I piss on your spit. I shit on your spit. I fart on your shit. I laugh at your part. We are friends again. Hey.
Mellow. Welcome to the fucking show. All of you niggas and all of you hoes, welcome you go and suck on my big toe, motherfucker. Welcome to the Ryan Harkness show. Thank you for joining me tonight. This is the Ryan Harkness show. I am your host, Ryan Harkness. This and every Sunday evening, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, will be right here for you. And I hope you make this a normal occurrence because nobody in the chat. Oh, there's somebody. Hey, welcome. Welcome, stranger. Welcome to the show, everybody. This is a fully listener-supported show. You can send a super chat, which I will read on the air at some time. If you go to buymeacoffee.com/Harkness show. That's Harkness is spelled like darkness with an H instead of a D, if that'll help you out. And you can follow me on Twitter. That's where I am most active as far as social media goes, at Ryan Harkness _. We got a great show for you planned tonight. All kinds of shit. We're going to talk about fatties up first, and that's why I got this sexy motherfucker in the background. That is yours truly, circa... Let's see, I think I was like 12 years old in that photo. I was a chubby little lamb. That's right. I think that's the year that I started playing the trombone in marching band. So not only was I fat, I was also really fucking cool too. Yep, I had some weight problems. Roger, were you a fat boy too? Yeah, I did. I went to the my mom took me to the doctor when I was around that age. And the moment that I knew I had to change something, the doctor sent us home with a piece of paper. It's like, I don't know, your physical report or something, a document. And on the bottom of that paper, it said, you know, asthmatic, kind of out of shape, but it was circled, which was the most important thing, and that was mildly obese. And that stuck with me, mildly obese. That really... you know, stung to know from a professional clinical opinion that I was a fat little kid. And I hated it too. I got picked on at school. I felt like I was one of those kids that would wear a t-shirt in the pool when I went swimming. So like people, I don't even know what that accomplishes because your fucking little fat boy titties just get wet in the t-shirt and stick to it, and you could see everything. You could see right through the wet t-shirt, hence, you know, wet t-shirt contest. So that doesn't work at all. There was all kinds of tricks. I remember trying to like hold my face a different way. Like if I felt like if my teeth were shut, I felt like my cheeks were chubbier. So when we went to do school photos, I would try to like elongate my jaw like that so I wouldn't have chubby cheeks. What else did I do? Clothing was a big thing, like really baggy clothes. I remember all my jeans were husky side. They said, I don't think they have the husky denomination of jeans anymore, but I had husky jeans, which basically means fat boy jeans. So fat boy pants, the official documentation to go along with it. I was chubby, but I made a conscious decision probably around high school age. I think it was 9th grade that I didn't want to be fat anymore. So I started like making my own lunches and running around the block, and it eventually went away. I think after I hit puberty, I was a late bloomer too. It kind of melted off, and I came into my own, and now you see the svelte young man that's before you now. I still fluctuate a little bit, but I feel like I'm at rock bottom when I feel my boobies coming in. Like I'm for the most part now a skinny guy, but like when I go too hard on the yummies and the sweetie treaties, I feel the titties coming in. Here's another picture of me. Let me try to blow this up a little bit. You see the early 90s, what was that? It was like a big dog shirt, you know, the pit bulls and stuff like that. That was my fat boy shirt. This was the probably the biggest t-shirt that I had to hide the fattiness, and it worked pretty well. You can't see my tits too much. That's my little brother to my left and my little sister to the right. And I am uncomfortably giving her bunny ears, as one fat kid is wont to do. So I could take it as well as dishing it out. You know, I'm gonna shit on fat people, but I was one of them, and I decided to change. Here's another fat person you've probably seen all over social media lately. Let's see if I could blow her up. This has been coming across my feed. I don't really know why, but I could tell that this was completely staged and made ready. She's at an IHOP. An IHOP is a place you go to get unhealthy food, obviously, but why would you broadcast yourself? You can see there's probably a tripod, or she set the camera up against the napkin and condiment container. But I want you to take a look at the young lady in the back who is clearly not happy with what she's seeing. Oh, yep. Turn this up, turn that off, turn that down. Sorry about that. Let's try this again. Bow. Yeah, this bitch is fat. I don't want to hear it. There's something about her too, that she looks like a stinky kind of fat. Like, have you ever encountered stink tit on women? When women have body odor up under the titty, that looks like a stink tit situation to me. Aren't I so cute? Aren't I so cute and quirky? Like Zooey Deschanel, I'm about to eat 400 grams of carbs. An IHOP Uber salted caramel pancake surprise. And then you can see the girl in the back just like, why are we doing this? I don't want to be here anymore. Oh yeah, she's cool. Can't wait to post that. Hey, do you guys know that there's a restaurant that if you're the fattest person around, they will let you eat for free?
Weigh 350 pounds, eats free in Heart Attack Restaurant.
So that must be it. 350 pounds or more, you eat for free. Oh my goodness. Look at this poor motherfucker waddling up. I'd like to eat for free. Who would subject themselves to this? This is, I don't know. This is pretty fucking brutal. Oh, and it's called the Heart Attack Restaurant. So, I don't know. I could shit on myself, but like to be in this position that this poor individual is in, and to have yourself filmed waddling up on the scale, and that's like the kind of scale you see at a Flying J, that you figure out how much your trailer weighs. Let's see what we got. Whoa! He almost eats free twice. What was that number? 560. 560 is the total, ladies and gentlemen. And let's see how his countenance goes as he walks off the scale. You see the head shake? That nah, I probably shouldn't have done that. Oof. What is it when you get so big, you get these like, there's no way for the fat to like displace itself properly. And you get these nodules. That looks like a couple of basketballs stuffed in his shorts.
Weigh 350 pounds, eats free in Heart.
What the fuck is that?
Weigh 350 pounds, eats free in Heart Attack Restaurant. 150 pounds, eat 150 pounds, eats 150 pounds, eats free. 150 pounds, eats free.
It's bigger than my 12-year-old son. That can't be his balls.
350 pounds, eats free in Heart Attack Restaurant.
I'll get you as a free meal. Nah, that doesn't look like the way, bro. Don't do that. Well, you are probably here in the first place, be it the replay or what have you. Let's see if I could fix this. Shazam. Baboop. Shadoop. Shabloink. And then transform screen. Doink. All right. Yeah. America's favorite, or least favorite, rather, parody song that I made of Oliver Anthony's, what was it called? I can't even remember. Richmond, North of Richmond. Yeah, that's it. I never really listened to the song that well, just well enough to get the gist of it to make that parody song. But I listened to it today, and I kind of take umbrage with some of the lyrics. Let me explain. Let's review.
I wish politicians.
All I could hear is mine, even when I hear his guitar.
I wish politicians look out for minors, and not just minors on an island somewhere, Lord.
So that was the lyric that I think made this song pop for him. People were like, oh, he's fucking acknowledging Epstein Island. So this is why it's the working man's anthem. You're acknowledging the corruption, which is at the core of the downfall of the United States. There's rich politicians. And that doesn't really make sense to me. Let me hear it again.
I wish politicians would look out for minors, and not just minors on an island somewhere.
Now, that doesn't really make sense, because are the politicians looking out for the minors that are on the island? Like, they're not looking out for them at all. They're not looking out for them. They're at best ignoring the fact that they're there, at worst fucking them in the mouth and the ass.
Lord, we got folks in the street,
Here it is.
ain't got nothing to eat, and the whole beast milking welfare. God, if you're 5'3" and you're 300 pounds, taxes ought not to pay for your bags of fudge rounds, young man.
Stop. That's it. The fudge rounds line. Now, I know a thing or two about songwriting, at least lyrics writing. I have to think that he put the fudge rounds thing in there just because it's hard to... He needed a rhyme. He needed a rhyme with 300 pounds and 6 feet underground. But we go from one very, very extreme end of the scale, which is children being fucked on a rape island by politicians, to what he feels is, I guess, the next worst thing about this country, that fat poor people are eating fudge rounds on the government dole. Like, I think we have bigger problems. We have impending nuclear war. We're printing money hand over fist just to hand to Ukraine and pay for shit that nobody wants and doesn't serve us whatsoever. You aren't represented in any way by the people that you vote for. But tell me again, what's the problem with the United States?
Look out for minors, not just minors on an island somewhere. Lord, we got folks in the street ain't got...
Who doesn't have nothing to eat? Everybody has something to eat. He contradicts himself in this. There's fat, poor people. Welfare recipients are getting fudge rounds. But we got folks in the street ain't got nothing. Who ain't got nothing to eat? How do you starve in the United States? You have to be completely retarded to starve in the United States. You just ask somebody for food. Ask 5 people. 1 person out of the 5 is going to give it to you.
In the heat and the whole beast milking welfare. God, if you're 5'3" and you're 300 taxes ought not to pay for your fucking fudge rounds. Young men are putting themselves.
I don't know. I don't think that's that big of a problem. Taxes paying for fudge rounds. If you were to put that on a pie chart and see how big the fudge round for fat poor people sliver is, I doubt it would be much compared to a lot of the other shit that's going down. I really don't. So fudge rounds, not that big of a deal in my opinion. I think he was kind of just grasping at straws for a rhyme, and he came across fudge rounds. Oh, and he recently got into some shit. Let's see if I forgot to find that video. Oliver Anthony, I don't even know what to put in there for that to find it. Let's see if I don't.
Oliver Anthony has canceled an upcoming show.
Oh yeah, he had a show planned because he's hot shit now. He's got the biggest, most popular fucking, I guess, working man's anthem country song, #1 in the charts right now. So he's getting a lot of money to do shows. He recently booked a show at Cotton Eye Joe's bar and grill venue, whatever. And the venue ended up canceling the show because Oliver Anthony wanted to cancel the show when he found out that they were charging, I think, like $99 or $100 for tickets. Let's see if he can explain.
That was scheduled
way
for
too
the
much
beloved
for
Knoxville,
working man
Tennessee
such as
venue
us.
known as Cotton Eye Joe, after ticket prices were listed astronomically high from the venue. Anthony released.
Is that astronomically high? $100 for the #1 song in the country? I mean, you can't fucking. How much is 5 people, a family of 5 eating at McDonald's is like $75 now.
Statements surrounding this cancellation. First, here is what Oliver Anthony had to say in a video released onto his Instagram. Here it is.
I had to pull off on the side of the road and make this video. My adrenaline's pumping, man. I'm pissed off right now, and don't buy Cotton Eye Joe tickets.
Yeah, Roger,
for
that's not even that bad.
And sure as hell don't buy
$100, like fucking. What concert can you go to that doesn't cost $100?
passes for whatever bullshit price they're on. I have a buddy of mine who's not a booking agent. He's a friend of mine. He's a full-time plumber, and I'm trying to hire him full-time as my booking agent. And he agreed to this show, I guess, without asking for the...
So you get your buddy to just book shows for you, and he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. He probably just took any offer that they got, and now you're throwing him under the fucking bus?
Prices are... don't pay...
My buddy's just a plumber. He's a fucking retard. That's why this happened.
Not a booking agent. He's a friend of mine. He's a full-time plumber.
You know, it almost sounded like he said that. He's a full-time plumber, but he wanted to say, my friend's a fucking idiot. This is all his fault.
For $99 a piece, and sure as hell don't buy VIP passes for whatever bullshit price they're on. I have a buddy...
Imagine the type of person that would buy a VIP meet and greet situation at a premium price at good old Cotton Eye Joe's to meet this fucking...
of mine who's not a booking agent. He's a friend of mine. He's a full-time plumber, and I'm trying to hire...
He's usually covered in shit and fucking people's fucking corn turds, but he fucked this up royally.
Full-time as my booking agent, and he agreed to this show, I guess, without asking for what the ticket prices are. Don't pay $100 for a ticket. That's horseshit. If we've got to cancel the venue and play somewhere else, we will. I didn't agree to it, and I don't want you to pay it. So please don't. I'm just trying to get the word out now. I don't know when the event got posted, but just hold off for a little bit.
Now, around the same time that he released that video onto his Instagram, Oliver Anthony also turned to Facebook, where he ultimately canceled the show. He wrote, "Cotton Eye Joe has been canceled. Ultimately, it's my fault for not being more directly involved with the venues who have
it is
reached
your
out.
fault.
My plate has been full, and I delegated the responsibility to someone else to help me book. I am not pointing fingers at Cotton Eye Joe. I don't know where the miscommunication took place. I'm just upset seeing those prices. We will find another place in Knoxville area that can do $25 a ticket and free meet and greet. I will work to get your tickets refunded from my own.
He wants to do $25 tickets. But here's the thing. I don't know if they'll read this for me. Let's see.
Another interesting piece to all this, Cotton Eye Joe also released a statement on the situation and also slammed Oliver Anthony for the cancellation of the show. Cotton Eye Joe's statement onto their Facebook reads, "It's a damn shame what the world's gotten to for the customers of the world-famous Cotton Eye Joe. Most times we say a show has been canceled due to circumstances beyond our control. Well, we are canceling the Oliver Anthony show under our full control. All refunds will be made." And
Roger, you don't want to get a meet and greet for Cotton? I almost called him Cotton Eye Joe. Oliver Anthony.
The next few business days to your original form of payment. The Northman of Richmond contracted to play the Cotton Eye Joe for $120,000 for 60 minutes.
Oh, we didn't see that part in Mr. fucking Working Class Heroes explanation video. 120 G-balls for big swinging dick fucking #1 on the billboards there. $120 for 1 hour. I've been selling my soul, slaving away, making $120,000 for 1/8 of a day. He failed to mention that. This working class fucking hero. 120 G-balls for 1 hour.
After doing the math and knowing we can only hold approximately 1,500 people, paying the ticket website their fee to sell the tickets, paying the tax man, opening the Joe on a closed night, we set the ticket price to break even and bring our customers a show we thought would be fun. To our talent agency and
that,
promoter...
From a business standpoint, that sounds about right to me. If the gross was going to be 120, excuse me, to pay Oliver Anthony for that hour, they have to get their staff to show up on a night that they normally wouldn't. They have to get a stage guy. I assume there's going to be a full house, 1,500 people, but that's the key there. It only holds 1,500 people. Got to pay taxes on that. It sounds like a break-even situation for that club. Maybe Mr. Working... How do you even fucking... Let me see. I'm going to open up a calculator. 1,500 seater. Calculator. 1,500 seater. What? How much did he want his tickets to be? $25? 1,500 times... Let's say 25. If you only want to only want to get paid $37,500, Mr. Oliver Anthony, then maybe you could do that. Do you want the club to cover the other fucking $90,000 for you and just take a $70,000 loss so that you could have your fucking working man show?
Get the fuck follow us. Be careful booking the Northman of Richmond. Wow, so Oliver Anthony there saying he does not point fingers, but
all right, fuck that ginger. I'm with the club. That's he's getting $120,000 to sing that fucking stupid song. $120,000.
6 feet in the ground. A bunch of fucking eating my fudge rounds. Lord, it's a damn shame when you make 120 G's for an hour working instead of sucking dick on your knees.
Yeah, fuck this guy. I like this tweet from Mr. Dick Masterson. Any of these, anytime one of these shitbags gets caught doing something shady,
They bring up a cancer charity. Oh, it looks like Cotton Eye Joe claims that we are charging people $120,000 per show. Did they make that up? Are you calling them liars? They've since turned the comments off, but I wanted to clarify. The most I've ever made on a show is $35,000. The most you've ever made, the most you've ever fucking netted is different than what you've asked. Maybe you're saying you've only netted $35,000 after you pay all your people and fucking all the expenses. That's still a fucking pretty good hour. We've done 2 shows in North Carolina that were completely free. Oh, God bless you, sir. And have another free show scheduled in September. 23rd, Kentucky for a cancer benefit. So, yeah, he pulls the fucking kiddies with cancer card. He sucks. And that song sucks, too. I get it. I mean, it's a uber pandering song. He's got some decent lyrics in it. The fucking appealing to people's emotions with the way everything is. Shit does suck now. But 120 G balls, like you're not one of these fucking working class heroes anymore. You've made it, buddy. Let's see. What's next? More fat people. We go from fudge rounds to the fattest people in the world.
Number 6. Barry Austin, 910 pounds. Going by...
It's not this guy, but the next guy. This is like a top 10, and I started at 6 because I recognized the one after this.
Fat Baz, Barry Austin was dubbed Britain's fattest man when a lifestyle of binge eating pushed his weight to a whopping 910 pounds. His peak weight was confirmed at a titular Sky One documentary.
910 pounds. And they get worse in this, too. That's a big fucking boy, 910.
Where Barry admitted to ravaging through 29,000 calories a day and drinking up to 12 liters of fizzy drinks at a time. Barry acknowledged the dark
12 liters. That's 2 liters in a sitting.
Side of his lifestyle and was trying to slim down for his health when a number of health issues presented. He lost 280 pounds after having a
Look at the leg shit. Like when you start getting so big that your skin, it goes beyond stretch marks and it becomes sores. And then they have to like rub cream on them.
Balloon fitted and slashing his caloric intake to a limited 1,500 calories per day. In a message to his longtime pal and fellow blues fan,
rub the cream on my legs,
broadcaster Tom Ross, Barry said that he was struggling after losing a lot of weight as he had been bedbound for...
What was that? Look at that cartoon. Did you get so fat that you have to put cartoon clothes on? Is that Eric Cartman's fucking clothes?
Years. Sadly, Barry passed away on January 1st this year after suffering a heart attack that caused him to fall.
It wasn't even the heart attack that killed him. He fell. They have strong hearts. When you're that fucking fat, like, you could survive a bullshit heart attack. You have them all the time. You have little ones. But the fell killed him. The fall.
5. Ricky Jr. Naputi.
Now, this is the guy that I recognized. There is like maybe the Learning Channel or something, a TLC documentary. And I have a strong stomach. I've watched beheading videos all the way through. And yeah, they're fucking gross and disturbing. But this guy in the documentary, they basically showed him at the end of his days, and he was the definition of eating himself to death. He got to the point where he was basically asphyxiated from all the goo that accumulated around his neck and like goiter area, and he couldn't fucking breathe anymore. Like if he'd start to pass out and asphyxiate, it was fucking disturbing watching this poor guy die.
900 pounds. Well known as the Guamanian
like
man.
You see, he can't even fucking breathe there. I lost it.
In a TLC documentary called Ricky Jr. Naputi, 900 pounds.
that, like, it's suffocating him.
Well known as the Guamanian man who ate himself to death, Ricky Naputi battled with his food addiction for many years. His labored struggle was briefly captured in a TLC documentary called 900 Pound Man. TV crew from the US network followed the life of Ricky with his wife Cheryl in what was the man's final 3 years. At the time, Ricky was too heavy to do anything. He hadn't walked on his own for more than 7 years. He couldn't talk without running out of breath, and he was
gotta
too
get
fat
the powder.
to even consummate his marriage.
Too fat to, well, he's obviously too fat to fuck. Like, is that the worst thing? I'd rather be able to fucking breathe and walk than fuck.
The only thing that came easy for him was insisting on more food. Lots and lots of it.
food.
Ricky desperately needed life-saving surgery, but all the doctors he contacted required that he loses at least 90 pounds on his own first, since it would have been too dangerous to try and...
So the doctors wouldn't even touch it. They wouldn't give him surgery unless he at least proved that he could lose 90 pounds. And losing 90 pounds when you're that big, that's like a good shit on a Sunday morning and don't eat a day. You're going to lose 90 pounds. But this guy was obviously trying to murder himself with food. Sad.
gastric surgery given his condition at the time. In the end, his 10-year marriage broke down, and without anyone to help feed and bathe him...
That poor fucking woman dealing with this shit. Like, that's a tough hand to be dealt, especially if he was different beforehand.
Ricky fell into deep depression over the state of his life. He died in November 2012 at age 39, with doctors declaring morbid obesity as the cause of his death. Number 4. Carol Ann Yeager.
This bitch is over a G-ball. 1,189.
1,189 pounds.
Yeah.
As the only woman to hit 1,200 pounds, perhaps 1,600 pounds unofficially.
You know it's bad when you gotta get one of these fucking... you gotta find a stud in the ceiling and you gotta go to Home Depot in the hardware section and get one of those carriage eye bolts with the thick threads on it and probably drill a pilot hole up in that fucking stud and have it weight test. You might want to test that out before you let this fucking 1,100 pound bitch yank on that thing. I'm serious. You could bring the whole fucking roof down on your head while you sponge bathe her.
1,200 pounds. Perhaps 1,600 pounds unofficially.
Sriracha.
Carol Ann Yeager was undoubtedly the most severely obese woman in history.
Look at her butt.
And the heaviest ever recorded.
Look at her butt coming out the back. It's remarkable.
The most severely obese woman in history.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
And the heaviest ever recorded. Her obesity was caused by an eating disorder she had developed as a child after being sexually abused by a close family member. She said that she found temporary relief in her sweet treats. Life for her was never a piece of
Empanadas.
Yeager fell in and out of deep depression and suffered many obesity-related health problems over the course of her life. At her heaviest, Yeager was mostly immobile.
I thought I was gonna laugh more at these
on her
poor
14-year-old
people.
daughter Heather and son Stephen Bishop, among other helpers, including friends and nurses.
I
In
can
her final
still do
year,
it.
Yeager lost about 500.
Look, this is not your normal hospital gurney at all. It might be 2 put together. Might be several put together. Like 1 in the middle and then fucking 2 on the outside, and you get everybody on the 9th floor to fucking heave this orca into the OR.
After she was put on diuretic drugs and a restricted 1,200 calorie diet while admitted at the Hurley Medical Center. She died at her home in the year that followed, with kidney
They're all dying. This shit will
failure
kill you,
listed as
man.
the cause of death, and morbid obesity being the contributing cause. One can never hope to retell Yeager's 1,000-pound life in about 100 words, but putting her...
Whoa. Holy smokes, dude.
Misa Uga Chakalaka Han Solo.
This list is a start. Number 3. Khalid bin Mohsen Shari, 1,345 pounds.
I didn't know they got
Once
bigger than
the
that.
heaviest living person and the
Well, I
second
guess it's
heaviest
a top
person
10.
ever recorded, Saudi Arabia.
How much fucking falafel do you gotta eat to get that big?
Khalid bin Mohsen Shari weighed 1,345 pounds.
Osama been eating too much.
At his peak weight. Unable to move on his own, Shari was confined to his bed for a little over 3 years, a situation which prompted Saudi King Abdullah to intervene. Shari was then transferred...
That sucks when the king has to intervene. You're so fat.
From his Jazan home in the south.
My royal countenance has fallen upon you, and you are hereby deemed the fattest fuck in the land of Arabia.
To be treated in the King Fahad Medical City in Riyadh, where he lost a massive 700 pounds through a combination of gastric band surgery, rehabilitation,
Is this
strict
a
exercise
happy
regimen,
story?
and healthy eating. While his loss was remarkable, Shari needed to trim down a further 218 pounds.
Imagine losing over 700 pounds, and they're like, "You're doing great, but you still got 200 some more to go."
To become the biggest loser in history, a record held by American Rose.
He's the biggest loser in history.
Bradford, who had lost 917 pounds to clinch the title. Some sources say, however, that Shari ultimately slimmed down to a friendly weight of 100.
This is a funny one. I like this one. I didn't like the last one. That was sad. But, like, we got forklifts. We got dudes in hard hats and shit and fucking levers and pulleys and all that shit. This is great.
50 pounds after losing a whopping...
Get my pallet in the forklift. It's time to go to Costco.
1,195 pounds and basically making him the biggest loser in history.
Now it's time for today's best pick.
You have to put it like that.
A familiar face.
He's a winner in my book. Not the biggest loser. He's a fucking winner.
Tale that calls to attention the everyday struggles of living with obesity.
You guys, look at this man. And look at what little fabric they need to fucking cover his pee-pee. They probably don't need anything. It's probably hides itself in the folds.
Number 2.
This ain't even number 1
Kenneth
yet.
Brumley, 1,033 pounds. When his story featured on Channel 4's Body Shock documentary series Half Ton Dad, Kenneth Brumley weighed a tremendous 1,033 pounds. The father of 4 ballooned to his staggering size on a daily diet of 30,000 calories. He picked up the weight so fast that he was unable to...
How much is a double cheeseburger meal? Double quarter pounder. Calories. Double quarter pounder, well, that's not too bad. 417 calories in a single quarter pounder. How many calories in a double quarter pounder meal? 1,260. And now this fucking fills me up. If I have a double quarter pounder, which I wouldn't now. I don't eat McDonald's. That shit's disgusting. But a medium fry, double quarter pounder with cheese meal, and if you're going to put some fucking sugar water on top of that, that'll fill me the fuck up, and I could eat. And that's 1,260 calories. This man's eating 30 fucking thousand calories a day.
Anything at his peak weight.
25
He was
of those.
bedbound for 4 years, as his gigantic legs could no longer carry his tremendous weight. Buckled under his own weight, and with no one to care for him, Brumley went a whole 4 years without having a bath. Brumley made headlines.
Imagine that smell. Fucking 25 double quarter pounder with cheese meals a day and no bath for 4 years. See the look at this man's face right there? He smells it.
Qualified for rehabilitation at the Renaissance Hospital.
That butt. My fucking skinny butt stinks. Imagine his butt.
In Houston, Texas, where it took an entire fire crew to help
He's
get
got
him
like
out of
9
his house
butts. Look.
and transport him to the hospital.
There's butts all over
his
the
daily
place.
calorie intake was reduced to 1,200 per day and was finally scheduled for gastric bypass surgery.
Looks like a baby. The way his legs are splayed out. I don't mean to laugh. But the way we return to our infant-like state.
After reaching a safe weight for the life-saving procedure.
Look at them toenails.
Bypass surgery.
You see that?
After reaching a safe weight for the life.
Look at them things. Yikes. That's fucking. You can't see it behind the thing. Let me give you guys a little peekaboo at these. Show feet, baby. Yeah. Oh my goodness, look at that. Sexy. No bath in 4 years. Give those gams a whiff. Yikes.
Saving procedure. Before we move on, I've got a little challenge for you that'll take 5 seconds to complete.
No.
More than 1,400.
All right, we want to see number 1.
Pounds.
14
Record books
hundo.
list John Brower Minogue as the heaviest man ever recorded.
These are the guys fucking 5'3",
Record
1,500
books list John
pounds,
Brower
eating all the
Minogue
fudge
as
rounds.
the heaviest man ever recorded.
Oliver Anthony's
He's
singing
estimated
about
to have weighed
in the sticks of fucking West Virginia, sucking up all those government benefits in the form of fudge rounds,
more than
destroying the country.
1,500 pounds, but his sheer size, deteriorating health, and mobility constraints made it impossible to bring him to a scale.
Some people carry this shit differently. Like the guy that was almost 400 pounds less than this guy, splayed out like a baby. Like, he doesn't look as bad as this. And this guy's walking 400 pounds, just still making it.
If Bainbridge Island, Washington had scales that big. No matter, Minogue took the title for heaviest person ever, and there's no arguing that fact.
I love how in these days, in the black and white video days, like, how people made fun of each other so openly. Like, look at this fucking circus freak. Let's get, Harold, come over here and join me in putting his pants on with me. we could fit the missus in here, too. Get your wife. 4 people, 1 pair of pants.
He also landed another rather interesting title for the greatest difference in weight between a married couple when his 110-pound fiancée, Jeanette...
What? Please show her.
...said I do on their big...
That's a little boy.
...day. Despite suffering from obesity since childhood, Minogue's weight was never an issue until being diagnosed with massive generalized edema, a condition which doctors determined to be incurable and difficult to treat.
You guys want to know how good the old days were? This fat fuck was still scoring a fucking 110-pound piece of ice. Dime piece. Had it on lockdown.
Oh, you're not going anywhere, bitch.
Minogue got even bigger until...
Yes, dear. Just fucking scrubbing his folds, cooking him all the food necessary to keep him this
his
fat.
Dramatic hospitalization due to congestive heart failure. About a dozen firefighters and medics had to join hands to put him on a modified stretcher and onto a ferry to get him to the University of Washington Medical Center. His treatment plan included a strict diet...
You guys get it. These fatties sure are something else. But that's fat people, ladies and gentlemen. What are we going to move on to next? So, we all know that the conflict in Ukraine is raging. And it's hard to find accurate information as to what's going on there. So, you have your different news sources. You could go on CNN, or you could look on the other side of the spectrum. But the most recommended news personality / talking head lately is this young woman here. This pretty gal. Everybody take a gander at this young lady. This is Mrs. We're on YouTube. So yeah, this is Mrs. What's her name? Sarah Ashton Cirillo. She is a Ukrainian military person, and she has had a lot to say lately about the conflict.
Hates the truth that they're obsessive. Russia hates the truth that they're obsessive folks.
They're fucking with us. Like, this is who you feed. We, the American people. This is who you suggest we garner our information as to what the conflict that might push us into nuclear war. This is the person you want us to listen to. Why do they have to roll everything up into these packages? Like, they couldn't just, okay, you're going to make us print hundreds of billions of dollars to give to you. Zelensky's going to snort half of it and buy mansions here in my state of Florida. But this is just mocking us. Okay, let's hear what she has to say.
Russia hates the truth that their obsessive.
Russia hates the truth. I think we might have a pot calling the kettle black in this instance.
Russia hates the truth that their obsessive focus on a Ukrainian volunteer is simply allowing the light of the Ukrainian nation's honesty to shine brightly. Next week, the teeth of the Russian devils will gnash ever harder, and their rabid mouths will foam in uncontrollable frenzy.
This isn't a joke.
See a favorite
this is not a Saturday Night Live sketch. This is a real, honest-to-God spokesperson endorsed by the White House to tell you what's going on in Ukraine and to explain how our plight is the enemy of the evil Russians.
Their crimes. And this puppet of Putin is only the first. Russia's war criminal propagandists will all be hunted down, and justice will be served as we in Ukraine are led on this mission by faith in God, liberty, and complete liberation. Russia hates the truth.
So she's got like dozens of shit like this. See, here's another one.
As we left Bilharad direction, I felt an overwhelming need to stop at this church in Kharkiv Oblast and pray for the soul.
How dare you? You entered a church? Did your fucking skin start burning, you abomination?
Of those in Izum who were discovered 1 year ago, victims of Russian terrorism and Russian genocide against the Ukrainian people. God himself is protecting Ukraine. God himself is leading the Ukrainian nation to live.
You leave fucking God's name out of your dirty mouth.
Liberty and liberation, a return to the country's 1991 borders, and full justice. But as we pray for all those victims, and as we give thanks to God, we must also pray for the lost souls that have empowered Vladimir Putin. These perverse and satanic puppets of the Kremlin must have prayers as well. Slava Ukraini.
I mean, like, are you trying to make me like Russia? Like, I get it. But this is the good guy. She has a zillion of these Russia bashing videos. And, you know, I'm no Russian dick suck. But let's see. Here's another one. They're laughing at us, guys. They're laughing at us.
Good evening, everyone. This is Sergeant Sarah Ashton Searle of the Armed Forces of Ukraine.
What's up, dude?
Coming to you live and direct from near Bilharad Oblast. There has been a lot of discussion recently over some comments I made on a show last week on Ukraine in the Know, where I stated clearly that the Russian propagandists and war criminals will be...
Just keep saying the things over and over and over and over and over again. We'll buy them if you just keep saying it. Russian propagandists, war criminals, Putin puppets. Russian propagandists, war criminals, Putin puppets.
Hunted down and brought to justice. Just in case anyone was unsure of that meaning, I will repeat it now. After a return to the country's 1991 legally recognized borders, which will be accomplished by the Ukrainian Defense Forces as well as the Ukrainian resistance throughout the temporarily occupied territories, we plan to institute President Zelensky's 10-point peace formula, which states as goal number 7, the bringing to justice of all war criminals. Russian propagandists are war criminals. They are pushing forward a narrative of genocide, of death, and ultimately of evil that is directed to them by Vladimir Putin and his inner circle. They will not escape justice. You cannot hide behind the title of journalist. You cannot hide behind the title of any fictitious meaning that you assign to it when you work for Vladimir Putin and his terrorist regime. Ultimately, again, Ukraine will return to its legally recognized 1991 borders, and then justice will be sought and found in making certain that the Russian war criminals are brought to The Hague, or any other courts where they will be tried for their crimes. Slava Ukraine!
Slava Ukraine, dude. So anyway, she's got a zillion of these out there. Recently, somebody, I don't know who, because she claims to be a Ukrainian, I don't know. She dons the title Ukrainian military personnel. And somebody was like, okay, bitch, if you're a Ukrainian military personnel and not an American war propagandist, do your next video in Ukrainian.
A couple of days ago, Maria Zakharova demanded that I make my next videos in Ukrainian. Maria Zakharova, neither you or any of your fellow Russian propagandists or anyone else in Russia.
What, you can't do it, bro? You can't do it? Come on, give it a shot. Say one word other than the Slava Ukraini bullshit.
Maria Zakharova, neither you or any of your fellow Russian propagandists or anyone else in Russia can make demands of any of us here in Ukraine. You lost that.
Yeah, they just did. They demanded you speak Ukrainian if you're a fucking real Ukrainian. Do it. It's a reasonable demand.
Right when you illegally invaded the country on February 24th, 2022. Ultimately, the only demands you should be making and preparing to make are those to your defense attorney when you're sitting in The Hague. We know that Russia is so weak that you've called out for the help of, quote, multilateral organizations. Here in Ukraine, we understand that that means Russia is weak and on its knees. Maria Zakharova, next time my name is in your mouth, whether that name is Michael John Cirillo or Sarah Ashton Cirillo, either way, remember this. Next time you demand anything, it will just be falling on deaf ears. Slava Ukraini.
You can't do it. You don't know anything other than Slava Ukraini.
Maria, it will just be falling.
Say the one word that you know.
Slava Ukraini. Maria.
Good job.
To all of your fellow war criminals.
Can't fucking speak a word of it, you fucking retard. But, of course, Woody Harrelson had to chime in. I thought this was kind of funny.
You know, I'm the kind of guy who just thinks it's abominable when a superpower with all this military might, with no provocation, attacks a country that is, you know, like you know, Iraq. Sorry, Afghan. I'm sorry, Korea. No, sorry, Ukraine.
At first, I thought he did fuck up the first time I saw this, but no, he makes a good point. Don't we? Isn't the auspices of all this the fact that Russia invaded a sovereign country? Who else invaded?
Yeah, I'm the kind of guy
country?
who just thinks it's abominable when a superpower with all this military might, with no provocation, attacks a country that is, you know, like you know, Iraq. Sorry, Afghan. I'm sorry, Korea. No, sorry, Ukraine. Terrible. Yeah,
I agree, John. Send that fucking thing to the front line. Give it a fucking rifle and let her Slava Ukraini it up. All right. That's enough of the Ukraine shit. It's depressing. We have transgendered spokespeople explaining to us why they need hundreds of billions of dollars to kill people. Well, actually, to launder the money and give it back to the people that voted to take it from us. All right. On a lighter note, I hope you guys will check me out on InfoWars next week. I'm gonna have a lot of fun talking to Harrison Smith, the ninja sword guy. All right, what's next? I think we got some titties. What's happening in the world of titties?
Representative Lauren Boebert of Colorado is apologizing for her behavior at a Denver theater last weekend.
Don't say sorry, baby girl.
It happened
What'd
at
you
the
do?
family-friendly show Beetlejuice. Surveillance video shows Boebert vaping and behaving disruptively with her companion in the theater. They were escorted out. Boebert blamed her act.
Whoa! What do we have here? Oops. Didn't mean to do that. I meant to do this. Shapow. Damn, girl. She is fucking stacked up. Recently divorced. Just going out on a date. They must have been fucking going nuts to get kicked out. I saw the video. He was like grabbing her titties and shit. I didn't know she was vaping, but who gives a fuck?
Actions on her pending divorce. Republican Representative.
Yeah, so she's getting a divorce and fucking having some
against
fun.
it, and I urge my colleagues to pass my amendment to protect our military children from obscene content they should not be exposed to. Here's the bottom line. Let's stop grooming our children, including our military
Get
kids.
down, bro.
It's gross. It is wrong. I am here to take a stand.
So I see what they're trying to do with this tweet, like put the split screen and have her rah-rahing the Christian way of thinking while juxtaposing that with her getting her fucking titties rocked in a crowded movie theater. But like she's talking about something different. Like she's talking about fucking with kids, and I guess it's a family-friendly theater, but I don't find this to be that big of a deal.
Against it, and I urge my colleagues.
She's recently divorced, trying to get her groove back. I mean, we've all been there.
To pass my amendment to protect our military children from obscene
That does look
content
fun.
they should not be
Stop! You can tell she's like, stop. We're gonna get caught.
exposed to. Here's the bottom line. Let's.
But that's been all over the internet lately. Lauren Boebert got her titties rocked in a crowded theater. Good for her. You know, when you're recently divorced, you get bummed out and you want to get your groove back. So maybe you go see Beetlejuice and get your titties sucked in a theater. I don't blame her for that. I don't hold anything against her for that. I think she probably shouldn't have got caught. I mean, but here's something that I didn't even think of. Like, do they have these kind of cameras in movie theaters? Like with
stop grooming
fucking
our
night
children,
vision to where you can see everything?
Our military kids. It's gross.
I mean, I'm thinking about all the shit I've done in a movie theater. I didn't know there were people fucking watching me on night vision Navy SEAL cameras. That's kind of fucked up. Well, it's something to remember in the future. Somebody is in trouble for rape.
Out of respect for you and your show.
I wonder why. I wonder why there would be allegations against Russell Brand in 2023. It seems to happen to a lot of people when they say stuff like this.
Out of respect for you and your show, I've brought some facts. Would you? If you like, they're actually.
You just get the fuck out of here. This is not the place.
I thought you'd like facts.
We love facts. I love facts.
I wouldn't have mentioned it. I'm English, and you know that politeness is our fundamental religion. But they do pertain to this issue, so may I say some of them? If they inconvenience you, I'll stop saying them. The pandemic created at least 40 new big pharma billionaires. Pharmaceutical corporations like Moderna and Pfizer made $1,000 of profit every second from the COVID-19 vaccine. More than two-thirds of Congress received campaign funding funding from pharmaceutical companies in the 2020 election. Pfizer chairman Albert Bourla told Time magazine in July 2020 that his company was developing a COVID vaccine for the good of humanity, not for money. And of course, Pfizer made $100 billion in profit in 2022. And may I just mention, finally, and this is also a fact, that you, the American public, funded the development of that. The German public funded the BioNTech vaccine. When it came to the profits, they took the profits. When it came to the funding, you paid for the funding. All I'm querying is this.
Yes.
Is if you have an economic system in which pharmaceutical companies benefit hugely from medical emergencies, where a military-industrial complex benefits from war, where energy companies benefit from energy crises, you are going to generate states of...
All right, so you get it. He goes on this tirade,
Petrol
shitting
crisis.
on everybody that you would think if you shit on, you get charged with rape. I've never heard anything about sexual impropriety when it comes to him. I know he was a puss hound. I mean, he's a fucking good-looking guy. He was a movie star. And he talked about that, being a sex addict and shit, but nobody came out saying that he did anything inappropriate until he started saying this shit and got his little Rumble show where he's like the new previous lefty, new voice of the right-wing podcast, I guess, in the mainstream. But now he is being accused of rape. And this is what he had to say about it. Let's go to doink, doink, doink. It always ends up being these people. And never when it happens. It's always years later. Somebody comes out of the woodwork and says, oh, in 2002, 20 years ago, Russell Brand touched my butthole.
From a newspaper listing a litany of extremely Hello there, you Awakening Wonders. Now, this isn't the usual type of video we make on this channel where we critique, attack, and undermine the news.
By the way, I'm glad you're getting charged with rape, because all the money that Rumble pays you is why their servers suck and I can't fucking watch anything on that platform. I wish I could, because fuck YouTube.
All its corruption, because in this story, I am the news. I've received two extremely disturbing letters, or a letter and an email, one from a mainstream media TV company, one from a newspaper, listing a litany of extremely egregious and aggressive attacks.
He still is, Simon. He's just fucking, he found out that he can make money doing this. Like, there's a bunch of lefties that are coming out with, I wouldn't call it, like, I wouldn't call what Russell Brand does these days right-wing commentary. It's more centrist, but a lot of people on the left have realized that if they just say anything against the narrative, a bunch of right-wing retards will throw money hand over fist at them and be like, you're one of us now. And it's very fucking profitable. And he found out that pretty recently.
As well as some pretty stupid stuff like my community festival should be stopped, that I shouldn't be able to attack mainstream media narratives on this channel. But amidst this litany of astonishing, rather baroque attacks are some very serious allegations that I absolutely refute. These allegations pertain to the time when I was working in the mainstream, when I was in the newspapers all the time, when I was in the movies. And as I've written about extensively in my books, I was very, very promiscuous. Now, during that time of promiscuity,
I got a lot of fucking pussy.
The relationships I had...
I swept a lot of chimneys.
Absolutely.
With me cock.
Absolutely, always consensual. I was always transparent about that then, almost too transparent. And I'm being transparent about it now as well. And to see that transparency metastasized into something criminal that I absolutely deny makes me question, is there another agenda at play? Particularly when we've seen coordinated media attacks before, like with Joe Rogan when he dared to take a medicine that the mainstream media didn't approve of, and we saw a spate of headlines from media outlets across the world using the same language. I'm aware that you guys have been saying in the comments for a while, watch out Russell, they're coming for you, you're getting too close to the truth, Russell Brand did not kill himself. I know that a year ago there was a spate of articles, Russell Brand's a conspiracy theorist, Russell Brand's right wing. I'm aware of news media making phone calls, sending letters to people I know for ages and ages. It's been clear to me, or at least it feels to me, like there's a serious and concerted agenda to control these kind of spaces and these kind of voices. And I mean my voice along with your voice. I don't mind them using my books and my stand-up to talk about my promiscuous, consensual conduct in the past. What I seriously refute are these very, very serious criminal allegations. Also, it's worth mentioning that there are witnesses whose evidence directly contradicts the narratives that these two mainstream media outlets are trying to construct, apparently in what seems to me to be a coordinated attack. Now, I don't want to get into this any further because of the serious nature of the allegations, but I feel like I'm being attacked, and plainly they are working very closely together. We are obviously going to look into this matter because it's very, very serious. In the meantime, I want you to stay close, stay awake, but more important than any of that, if you can, please stay free.
The first date, you scared to rape a bitch? I can't relate. She let me in the house. Nobody's safe. Now pass the plate. Rape.
Yeah, I believe him. I don't think he fucking did anything. He's been talking a lot of shit about a lot of people that don't like their shit fucking aired out, obviously. And you're going to get rape charges thrown at you. Because they have all the fucking money in the world to go up to some bitch who needs some fucking, what's up? Band Garcia, who needs a little bit of scratch, and you know, desperate people do desperate shit. You could talk a fucking bitch into saying that Russell Brand raped her. Like, that's not that far out of the fucking domain of believability. So yeah, maybe I don't think he's gonna back down or anything. I wouldn't. But other people are getting accused of rape, and maybe they did it, though.
I've gotten to know the
You guys remember that 70s show?
Victims of
Hyde?
this case quite well over the years.
He's in trouble.
And I can tell you they're strong. We're committed to making sure that justice gets served. And today they got it.
That 70s show star Danny Masterson will spend 30 years in jail. A judge sentenced Masterson Thursday for raping 2 women more than 2 decades ago at his Hollywood Hills home. The once popular sitcom star was convicted 4 months ago on 2 of the 3 rape charges he faced. The 47-year-old was sentenced to 15 years to life for both convictions to be served consecutively, which equates to 30 years to life in prison.
30 years.
The sentence is justice for the women he was accused of raping in the early 2000s. Masterson has repeatedly denied.
Now, I kind of believe he might have did it, because this has been going on a while for him, and he's got mountains of evidence supposedly against him. But I was listening to this one deposition of one of the chicks that accused him of rape, and this was a long time ago. I think over a decade ago. And in the deposition, she said that they had consensual sex. Oops, my bad. They had consensual sex, and I mean, shouldn't it be fucking case closed then? Like, what? I get there's blurry lines, and sex can be a fucking a rough thing at times, and that could be fun and great for both parties. But I don't know, man. It's just the way things can turn on you from a legal standpoint. She did change her mind in it. I think it was like 2018 when they had sex in 2008, something like that. And the defense lawyer asked her, like, what changed in 2018 that you felt that the status of consensual sex to rape was appropriate? And she couldn't answer the question. But she wasn't the only one. There was others too. And that man is going to prison for 30 years. I remember when I was a young man, I'll never forget, I got in an altercation with my then girlfriend, and this was a young lady that to this day I will always regard as the ultimate learning experience when it comes to crazy bitches for me. You know, everybody has one of them wackos. She's now deceased, so, and I won't name names out of respect for her, but she was very into substances and alcohol, and one night she had a little bit too much, and she had locked herself into my place, and when I was trying to get in, she had locked me out and called the cops while I was trying to get in. I knew that when a woman calls the cops on you, it's best to just stay away from her and not let things escalate. She ended up coming out before the cops came, and she was a scrapper, and she started fighting me. I don't fight women. I definitely didn't back then. And she ended up in the scuffle, like ripping my pants open. She was kind of like holding on to them while I was trying to get away, and it ripped my pants. And it looked pretty fucking weird when the cops showed up. I wasn't expecting this, but when they questioned both of us, they like separated us and were asking us separately about the altercation. I told them the story, what happened. She has substance abuse issues. She locked herself in my house. She was drunk and about to drive. I grabbed her keys, chucked them in the buckle brush, and she started whooping my ass. And I overheard her telling the cops her side of the story, and I heard the R word. I heard the grape word, and my fucking nuts jumped up into my body. The most profound fucking physical response to just words that I've ever had in my life were from my realization that this bitch said that I was fucking trying to rape her. And I thought right then that I was going to go to jail. Maybe prison. But they kept questioning, and my story never changed the 3 or 4 times that they asked me, and her story changed almost every time, and she ended up going to jail that night when she accused me of rape. Yep. And that was 20 years ago. And a mutual friend of ours called me a couple years ago. And they're like, hey, you know, so-and-so died of an overdose. And I was like, doesn't surprise me. Didn't hurt at all either. Because when somebody does that, like that was an eye-opening fucking moment to how fucking evil women can be. Like just to save some face, they'll accuse you. Not all of them, but some have the capacity to maybe ruin your life forever, like the one that's trying to ruin Russell Brand's life. But I believe him. I don't know about the Danny Masterson thing. There's some circumstances around that are a little bit spoopy. 30 years that man is going to jail. 30 years. Happy Constitution Day, everybody. Do you guys know that's a thing? It's Constitution Day.
236 years ago, the founders signed our Constitution and began this great experiment we call the United States of America. Our Constitution opens with 3 of the most powerful words ever written in a political document: we the people. Those 3 words are a timely reminder of our responsibility. As Speaker, it is my duty to use every tool in the Constitution, including the power of the purse and oversight of the executive branch, to ensure the People's House stands up for we the people. It's not a responsibility I take lightly, but I embrace it as a part of my oath of the office. The Constitution is our guide, and I will always follow it. So that government of the people, by the people, and for the people does not perish from the earth.
So it's Constitution Day. I don't really know what that means, but I played that video because I wanted to remind you of those very powerful words, we the people. And do you remember what our current president said we the people meant? What is we the
Constitution
people?
opens with the words as trite as it sounds, we the people. Well, it's time to remember that we the people are the government.
Oh, it's the government. We the people means the government, you guys. I thought it meant... That's weird. I thought it meant the opposite of that. I thought we the people was we the people, not the government. But no, I had it fucked up. What's we the people?
Of America. That's democracy in action. Our Constitution opens with the words as trite as it sounds. We the people.
Trite. He even shits on it. It opens up with this fuck shit, this bullshit that somebody, I guess, scribbled on a fucking napkin, this trite nonsense. We the people. What does that even mean? I'll tell you what it means.
Well, it's time to remember that we the people are the government.
It's the government, you guys. You and me in the government. You know, we the people.
Not some force in a distant capital.
Yikes. So happy Constitution Day, everybody. Hope you're very comfortable with the fact that we the people are doing well. You know, we the people in the fucking government. That was hilarious when he did that. Well, make sure you never relax. And that doesn't always only apply to certain demographics. Never relax wherever you fucking go. This may shock you, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so this young lady enters a convenience store. Quite a fucking chiseled jaw and musculature of the legs, squareness of the shoulders. Very impressive for a young lady. But she happens to be holding an axe in her hand as she enters the store. Now, we're about to learn a lesson in situational awareness, ladies and gentlemen, and as they say, never relaxing. Now, you saw that he saw Mr. Ben Renner, who I guess came in to buy a pie, it says, behind my logo there. He needed his gas station pie, and he passed this transgendered individual with an axe. Kind of did a double take, like one would be wont to do after passing a man lady with an axe in their hand in your local marathon or Circle K. Now, pop quiz. What do you do when it's late at night? You really want that pie. I didn't know convenience stores were known for their pies, but apparently this one is. And you pass a lady with an axe late at night in a grungy convenience store. Do you A, say, I really want to fucking get that pie? They have the dopest boysenberry on the block. Or do you do what I would do and get the fuck out of that convenience store with the guy in the dress holding the axe? What's the right move? Now, the white race is a very trusting race of people. You could tell by the look on this man's face that he senses that there could be danger, but if he were to break out of his spot in line, it might arouse some suspicion in the heart of the, maybe the other patrons in there, especially the one that's approaching him with an Adam's apple and an axe. He seemed to acknowledge her there. Did he just go, is that an axe? Is that a dude with an axe? That an axe? Right there. Is that an axe? That's what he said. Look at his lips. Is that an axe? You bet your ass it is. Okay. You see the shoulder fucking thing? That never goes well. When a young woman, or whatever this is, approaches you with that fucking, that slither snaky fucking move, it's not going to be good if they don't have an axe and stand 3 inches taller than you. So he's engaging in conversation. I don't know if you guys know this or not. Lots of fuck-ups in this video. First is he talks to it, which isn't a good idea. He should have left on top of everything. Averted eye contact. He looks right at her, points and says, is that an axe? And then fucking, as she slithers up to him, he continues the conversation. And look, at one point, he turns his head away from her. Right there. This fucking thing is standing, wielding an axe, taller than him. He turns away from it. All bad moves. All fucking, not the way to go in this situation. Oh shit, he reaches down and touches it. I didn't notice that part. He's like, he reaches down and touches her axe, and I could only assume is saying, did you get this at Home Depot, Lowe's, Ace Hardware? Nice axe, bro. And as you see, we've got the white Rastafarian buying probably roll papers in front of him. So, chatting away, again, turns his fucking head away from this abomination, holding an axe. Look, there's a knife in his pocket, too. Her pocket. Fuck this guy. Whapow! Perfect freeze frame, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that. No reasonable flinch. No averting of the head. He just takes the axe right to the head. Let's see that again. Train it with an axe. He fucking ate every bit of that. Doink. 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 You relaxed, bro. You turned around. You relaxed. And now you got a fucking tranny axe in the face. Oof. Oh! And she got the Rasta, too! Oh, this bomber clot just hit me in the back with the axe. Oh, and he's leaking. He's leaking bad because he ate that fucking axe. Let's see that again. Shiz. Doink! Doink! Oh, I just wanted me roll paper poink. Bum. I just wanted me backwoods, man. Well, may that be a lesson to you. Fucking never, ever, ever fucking relax. Oof. transgender individual walks into your local marathon with an edged weapon, and you, number one, talk to it, but turn your back on it after they approach you, it got violent. Some other shit got violent. And these people are mad. Let's see why. Oh, everybody's favorite.
Well, protesters marched through the short north
Black
tonight
Lives
in
Matter
honor
are
of
mad
Takaya
again.
Young.
What now?
Good evening, and thanks for joining us at 11, everybody. I'm Yolanda Harris. Andrew is off tonight. This protest comes hours after Blendon Township Police released the body camera video showing Takaya Young, a pregnant mother, being shot and killed by police in a Kroger parking lot. And that's where we find 10 TV's Richard Solomon tonight. Richard, what do these protesters want?
So this bit, you're not going to get everything you need to know about this story from this or any news broadcast. Headline is young pregnant black woman, unarmed of course, shot dead by police. And they're going to present it as that and that alone on its face.
Well, Yolanda, their answer is simple. They want the raw...
You ever notice how they fucking pull out all the black staff when they need to talk about a story like this? Like, was Yolanda and Jerome the ones who were assigned that night if there was a local fucking cupcake cook-off or something?
Edited version of that body camera video, and that is also something that Takaya's family has been pushing for ever since that shooting happened here in this Kroger parking lot. And speaking of this Kroger, at the front entrance, there are water cases blocking the door and a sign that reads they are temporarily closed. Demonstrators say they are fighting for justice for both mother and child.
So this is, we're going to watch the body cam footage too. This is the body cam footage, but just at this point where they've already approached her. She was alleged to be stealing liquor. Great thing for a pregnant, soon-to-be mom to be doing. And these cops were already in the area, like trying to help somebody get into their car with the keys locked in it or something. And she was whiling out trying to get away, and the Kroger liquor store employee was like, hey, this bitch fucking right over there stole a bunch of liquor, and they approached her, and this happens.
It's the several seconds of this Blendon Township body camera video that has so many people enraged.
What do we want?
He put one in it.
When do we want it? Now!
Hours after the body camera video showing the shooting death of pregnant 21-year-old Takaya Young was released, demonstrators marched through the short north because of what was released.
Oh, this is obviously her Ferrari. She totally didn't just see that parked on the street and say, hey girl, take my picture in front of this car.
Demonstrators marched through the short north because of what they saw.
It's also just another reminder of, like, every time that something like this happens, every time we're plagued with violence in this city.
I guarantee you this kid lives as a white mom and a black dad, or a black dad and a white mom, or a black mom and a white dad, lives in an affluent gated community, gets a allowance and his college completely paid for.
It's a reminder that our solutions are not actually leading to anything better or more safe.
More than a week after the incident, Blendon Township
He knows the plight of the inner city black man for
police
sure.
released the video showing two officers flag down Young because an employee said she was stealing liquor. A few moments pass and Young starts to turn the wheel, pulling away from officers. Then,
Get out of the car.
Is that pulling away or driving into? Let's hear the verbiage again.
Away from officers to turn the wheel, pulling away from officers.
She just turned the wheel to pull away from him, guys. She's trying to pull away from Two cops, one standing in front of her, the other demanding that she get out of the car in a lawful order after stealing liquor.
Then,
get out of the car.
FOP Vice President Brian Steele says the officer who shot Young has not yet been interviewed by BCI.
Outside looking in, based on my training and experience, from what I saw in that video, I believe it was, I understand why.
Ooh, he's he's shaking up. He knows BLM's on him. He's like, I didn't shoot her. Somebody did. Please leave me out of this.
On that video, I believe it was, I understand why it could be.
I don't want to be here right
that
now.
Decision. Ultimately, a grand jury is going to make that decision.
But for them, it's simply not enough. What they want is real change. So no mother, no child,
Say
no
her
family
name.
dies by the hand
Taquito.
of law enforcement again.
Couldn't help notice this sexy beast. The face of Black Lives Matter, ladies and gentlemen.
And because of Marcy's law, Blendon Township is not releasing the officer's name involved with this because he's considered a victim. We're now reporting live. I'm 10 TV's Richard Solomon. Back to you, Yolanda.
Well, Richard, he almost got hit by a car. I'd say he was a victim. But let's look at the police body cam footage. So it starts out, like I said, they were already in the Kroger parking lot. He's got one of these locksmith tools. It's basically an air pump bag that you stick in between the door jamb of a car, and it pulls it open a little bit so you could get like a coat hanger in there, trying to help be a good Samaritan, unlock some poor customer's car that they lock the keys in or something. But all of a sudden, the Kroger employee, see her get in right there? They just received the call that this young lady was stealing liquor and trying to get away.
705 Managua, 3705. A female
703, we got a fucking stealing liquor.
hallucinating. Too much of a loss for attend.
So the partner can see that she's gonna try to bolt, and he just now notices the other cop that was trying to get this door open. What's going on over there? And he tells her right there, get out of the car. He's standing at the side of the car at her window.
Out of the car. Out of the car.
Now, I don't know about you, but at this point, I'm caught. Say I did it. I mean, what scenario could ever allow me to get away from the situation uncaptured, unscathed, and not in trouble? This is what I don't get, why certain people cannot just you got to take the charge sometimes. You fucked up. You're not going to fucking hit the gas and get out of this. It's just beyond me.
Out of the car.
What'd I do? Why y'all being racist and shit? What the fuck I do?
Back in service 1828.
Get out of the car. Then get out. No. Then get out.
So she has obviously some didn't do nothing rhetoric to spit at these cops. And instead of getting out of the car, she does this.
Get out of the fucking car. Get out of
Okay. When the cop pulls out the Glock, one's there, one's in front of the car. You're done. There's no way out. You should probably get out of the car.
Get out of the fucking car.
Oh, that was a gunshot.
Get out of the car. Shots fired. Shots fired. Stop the goddamn car. Stop the fucking car. Goddamn car.
We're going to have a 44 on
I told you. I told you that was going to happen, Taquito.
Attend to 29, 3705 Managua, 3705.
What's that?
Email is hallucinating. Sponsorville, ask for attend.
Hey, stop.
This is the other cop.
Hey, out of the car.
No, not happening. Stop. Get out.
Out of the car. 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 They said your stole stuff, do not leave. Get
For what?
out of the car. Then get out. No.
What did she say?
Out. Then get out. No. Stole stuff, do not leave. Get out of the car.
I didn't steal shit.
Do not leave. Get out of the car. Then get out.
The other girls was stealing?
No. Then get out. Get out of the car. Get out of the car.
All right, so they shot and killed her because she hit the gas while he was standing in front of her car. I get it. I mean, cops really want to shoot people, especially when they try to drive their cars into you. I just don't understand. Like, say you are right. Say the black community, the outraged black community is correct. And your assumptions are true. That cops are always on the lookout to fucking put a bullet in you. Why do you want to fucking... You could get arrested instead. Isn't that better than getting shot and killed? But of course, the didn't do nothing wrong team came out in force.
So for starters, they said she stole from the grocery store.
She stole from the grocery store. That's what they said.
There is no evidence of her stealing anything. So this just goes to show that y'all are so quick to believe negative commentary about black women. You know, what proof do you have that she stole anything? Was there... I never seen any proof of it. So y'all can't just keep repeating that just because it gives you what you think is a reason to take somebody's life.
She didn't do nothing.
Mind you, the Kroger employee said that she had taken multiple liquor bottles and didn't pay for them. Do any of these bags look like liquor bottles to you? These are boxes. These are multiple items. If she just went in there and stole with two other individuals and left with these liquor bottles, what is all of this stuff? And this stuff is bagged as if it was purchased. So I need an explanation as to how, if she was just in there stealing liquor, why did she have all these bags of other types of merchandise that look like they were purchased? Being a black woman in Columbus, Ohio, especially Westerville, Ohio, it would not be easy for you to just go to a checkout lane, bag up all of this stuff, not pay for it, and walk out. So I challenge y'all. Start asking questions, start thinking critically, and start demanding proof before...
Challenge accepted. What do we have here? Would anybody like to play a little supermarket sweep? That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Your favorite game show and mine, where Taquito Young does a little sherping. What do we got here? We see Taquito has brought 2 bags. 2 purses, the 2-purse technique. That's not a shopping cart. And she's going for the hypnotic, ladies and gentlemen. Very, very clandestine position right here. That usually works out well, crouching right in front of the camera and then shuffling after you, with your homegirls, very quickly and abruptly out in front of God and everybody into the parking lot where cops are already waiting. What was that? What was that again?
If she just went in there and stole with 2 other individuals and left with these liquor bottles, What is all of this stuff? And this stuff is bagged as if it was purchased. So I need an explanation as to how, if she was just in there stealing liquor, why did she have all these bags of other types of merchandise that look like they were purchased? Being a black woman in Columbus, Ohio, especially Westerville, Ohio, it would not be easy to go to a checkout lane, bag up all of this stuff, not pay for it, and walk out. I challenge y'all. Start asking questions, start thinking critically, and start demanding proof before you immediately believe these narratives that are being pushed by the people.
Start thinking critically, you guys.
Because when you are dealing with Columbus, Ohio, Ohio at large, America at large, you will learn that what's pushed through.
Where is it? Where is it? Oh, what's that? The Hennessy went right into the fake Coach bag there. Oh, she gave her little baby belly a pat. Because she's a good mama. You guys, she didn't do nothing. And that's been this episode of Supermarket Sweep, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want to see anybody, even a pregnant mom, die from her stupid actions. But you know what? As they say, you play stupid games, win stupid prizes. I'm sorry, man. Like, it's gonna happen. If you fucking stop it. If you steal liquor, God is gonna know that you have a baby in your belly, and he's gonna make cops shoot you, regardless of what fucking color you are. It's just the way it is. All right, let's take a moment to plug the info. Supported program. If you want to send a super chat, you could do that. Show me how much you like the parody songs, like the program. You could go to buymeacoffee.com/Harkness show to leave a donation, and I will read your comments on air. And follow me on Twitter at Ryan Harkness _. Harkness is spelled like darkness with an H instead of a D. Okay. I think we're almost done, but I got a lot of show left. I'm going to go grab a beer, take a piss, and then we'll be back with more show. Simon Anderson, Twitter won't let you post banned vid. Yes, you cannot post banned.video in any YouTube video or community tabs, and you cannot post it on Twitter as well. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Twitter, Elon Musk's free speech platform, not only does not let Alex Jones on the platform, but doesn't even let you link to his website, banned.video. But I could say it with my voice, and there's other ways around that. So please check out that interview on Tuesday on the American Journal with Harrison Smith. All right, I'm going to go pee, grab a beer. We're going to take a little break. We'll be right back. Here's some old shitty parody songs to listen to.
You feel a sudden burst when you're sliding in the first. Diarrhea. Diarrhea.
So anyway, yeah, I didn't make it to the bathroom.
Diarrhea. Yeah, hey, everybody, guess what? Carmen can't hold her bowels from now on. Let's call her Miss Dookie Butt. In between her butt cheek, something's going on that ain't right. You can't see her tattoo because it's covered in poo. Her BH lost the fight to diarrhea. I could see London, I could see France, and I could see Carmen has shit her pants. She's lost control of that special hole, and now her pants are filled with poo.
I let a couple toots out.
Oh.
And then the last one, I was like, oh, that's not a fart.
Diarrhea. Once it starts, you know you cannot quit. Carmen shit her pants in Mickey D's and then went and bought a 10-piece chicken nugget. Stinky lady. Carmen went from a 7 to a 3. Her brown eyes crying tears of hot liquid dookie. She's not real bright and she's got real big tits. But big boobs won't help you when you smell like shit. Carmen smells like shit. Diarrhea. I see London, I see France, and I see Carmen has shit her pants. She lost control of that special hole. Now Carmen's pants are filled with poo. Diarrhea. I see London, I see France, and I see Carmen has shit her pants. She lost control of that special hole. Now Carmen's pants are filled.
All right, we're back. Oh yeah, during the break, I'm gonna play some of my old parody songs on a loop from the old radio days. I was the official parody song guy on a lot of Tampa Bay radio shows. I'm an old Tampa Bay radio head, so I have probably something like 125 minutes of that shit. And I don't want to just throw it in the shitter. I'll use it for that. If a word on that, if you hear any songs where I'm shitting on Bubba the Love Sponge, that was my job in the day. I'm friends with that guy. He's one of my few good friends in the broadcast industry. So don't take that seriously if anybody, any of his listeners hear one of those old songs. It's just in the rotation. It was some of my funniest stuff, so I'm going to keep it in there. Don't take offense to it. Don't go run into Bubba and say, hey, Ryan's being a faggot. I'm just keeping that stuff in there because a lot of it's really funny. All right, let's get back into it. Oh, yeah. Click this right here. Let's see what Mr. Trump did in this interview. This was a great interview with Megyn Kelly. She asked a lot of fucking really good questions, and I don't like the way this is. Doink, 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 doink. Doink. Okay, that'll work. Let's hit it. Yellow. Oops. Try this again.
There was just a poll out. 77% of Americans say that Joe Biden at age 80 is too old to be president. Are they right?
No, not for the reason of old, because I have many friends that are in their 80s. I have friends.
All right, I'm going to start with kind of a softball question, and then we're going to go to the juicy ones that Megan asked. So here's one that I agree with him on.
Bernie Marcus that are in their 90s and they're sharp as a tack.
Is 82 old to be president?
I mean, I would say just about what they used to be. No, not old. He's incompetent. He's not too old. He's incompetent. And age is interesting because some people are very sharp and some people do lose it, but you lose it at 40 and 50 also. But no, he's not too old at all. He's grossly incompetent. You look at some of the great. You look at some of the great world leaders. They were in their 80s, and they did. I mean, Churchill. So many people. They were phenomenal in their 80s. You know,
I tend to agree. I think the age isn't an issue. It's just your cognitive ability at that age. And Biden ain't got it right now. He's obviously, his brain's turned to shit. And speaking of that, there will be a new parody song released with that as the subject matter probably tomorrow. I'm like 98% done with it. Need to put the finishing touches and then go through the music video creating process. But I'm probably going to get that out to you guys tomorrow.
Great wisdom if you're not in a position like him. But if you go back 25 years, he wasn't the sharpest tack either.
Ron DeSantis has come out to say that 80-year-olds shouldn't be president, that if you're the nominee, the GOP will lose age as a cudgel to use against Joe Biden. Does he have a fair point?
Well, if he's the nominee, they'll lose because he's a lousy candidate. So, you know, I'd rather take on the age issue. I feel I'm physically extremely
So this,
good.
it's weird. YouTube, for some reason, and I assume shenanigans, took Megyn Kelly's interview and they blacked out the video portion of it periodically throughout the interview. I don't know what they were trying to achieve by that, but just standard fucking YouTube nonsense. And look, I'm under no illusions that I'm going to keep this channel. I'm trying to gain some listenership on here to drag over to Rumble or some other platform, but YouTube just works. Like when you hit go live, people can watch you, the video plays. Rumble just does not do that for me. It fucking, I try to watch programs and creators that I like over there, and during certain hours, they just don't have the bandwidth to make it work, and that fucking platform pisses me off. I hope they fix it, because obviously we need an alternative to YouTube, but it's not there yet, and it sucks.
To our country. And this is not sustainable. This is not sustainable. When you look at New York and you look at the streets and the people that can't even walk on the sidewalks, they're taking up the school. Would have been done in 3 weeks. And they stopped it. We had a rigged election, as you probably heard, and they stopped it. They stopped this from being built.
Well,
they could have had it done. They could have had it done in a period of 3 weeks.
All right, I think this is where, and this is a question that I want to know, because before you Trumpsburgs jump down my throat, I voted for the guy twice. I'll probably vote for him again just to get gas cheaper. But I'm upset that I don't have a fucking wall. I'm upset that he printed $1 zillion and gave it to Pfizer. I'm upset that he praised this awesome vaccine and continues to do so to this day. Different company dependent, but this is where the beautiful Megyn Kelly asks him about the wall, which I really want to know about.
And they stopped.
Why don't we have a fucking wall, Trump?
But regardless,
Can I ask you about that though? Because that is one thing that your critics say would have helped to keep some of these migrants out. A wall.
Oh,
so
sure.
whatever happened with that? Because
we built it.
What Border Patrol says is we only added.
We did not build it. It's not there.
Out a wall.
Oh,
so
sure.
whatever happened with that? Because
we built it.
What Border Patrol says is we only added 46 miles. So
okay.
you said you're going to do 1,000.
Border Patrol doesn't say that. Who says that are Democrats when they try. So you have hundreds of miles.
Let me set up the numbers. You tell me why I'm wrong.
Yeah, go ahead.
In 2016, you said there was going to be a border wall up across about 1,000 miles.
Yeah.
And
I don't know if I said 1,000, but I said whatever.
Yes.
I mean, it's 2,000 miles long, but we have rivers and we.
You're right. He should have fucking freed Assange. Absolutely. That's one of the big ones, in my opinion. And he went on fucking Tucker Carlson a few weeks ago and said Jeffrey Epstein probably killed himself. Give me a fucking break.
You have of the 2,000 miles, you need it on 500 to 600 miles because you have rivers and.
So here comes a fucking sea of mealy-mouth bullshit excuses of why we don't have a wall. Seems like a simple task. Joe Biden got $100 billion for Ukraine. How much was the wall supposed to be? And they were bitching about the price of it, like $4 billion, say it was $20 billion. We couldn't make that happen, but we could give Pfizer $100 billion. We could give Ukraine $100 billion. We could print hundreds of billions of dollars and give them to fucking No. Where's my fucking wall?
Desert, you have a lot of different bad conditions.
So they said when Barack Obama left office, we had 654 miles covered, and that you were going to get us to 1,000, and that you only added less than 50 miles of wall.
Okay, ready?
You go.
So what they say is that if there's a board lying on the ground, a 2x4, that was there for 50 years and sitting there.
John Frazier, people go into jail for 18 years for January 6th. Some of them weren't even there. What's he got to say about that? Nothing. He didn't say shit in this interview. I mean, Megyn Kelly should have brought that up, but he was not asked that. She did. She does ask some fucking pretty good questions, but she didn't ask that. That's an excellent question. I want to know what happened. What's his thought on those people, and what's he going to do about it if he wins?
That was a wall. And that when I added a brand new wall that went up 30 feet and it's solid steel, concrete, and rebar.
It doesn't matter what the fuck it's made if it has an edge that you could walk around. You fucking idiot. If I put one of these up, you could build it to the Tower of Babylon, to the heavens. If it's got edges that you could walk around, it's not gonna fucking work. I don't care if it's made out of diamond, steel reinforced diamond. It needs to be a continuous wall all across the fucking border. You fucking idiot.
That was not a wall.
It was huge.
Wall, because that was just a renovation. So what they do is they call it a renovation. If there are boards sitting on the ground, if there are nails, if there's steel sitting on the ground, there's no wall. But if it used to be a wall like 30, 40 years ago where they had just a fence because there were no walls, they had just like a little low fence or a barrier so that cars couldn't come across, and it was rotted and laying on the ground. They don't give me credit.
You're not answering the question. I don't care what the demon rats did and said. I don't care about their lies. I want to know why you, who claim to be the only man that can save America, when you had your first shot, couldn't build a fucking wall.
For a wall. But they do actually, because if you look at the numbers, they say I built almost 500 miles of wall. I built almost 500.
Everybody knows almost doesn't count.
Some of that was wood laying on the ground that we took away, threw away, and we built a brand new wall. So what they're trying to say is that we built 50 or 60 miles of wall because there were 50 or 60 where there was never anything. But any wall that was there was decrepit, it was gone, it was rusted, it was rotted, it was laying on the ground, and we would actually just take it away. Then we built a really incredible new wall. The wall that was built to the specifications of the Border Patrol. I was going to do concrete plank, and they said you have to be able to.
These guys had to work so hard to go over it. It was incredible.
And they wanted
it was made of diamond and steel.
And then they wanted rebar inside.
Diamond and silk.
It was a complicated thing. And it was built to the highest
diamond and silk wall. It was made of fat black women.
It's no good. You can't.
Who died of the vaccine, allegedly.
And we built almost 500 miles, and they admit that. But what they try and do is they say, "Oh, there was wall there before." It wasn't wall. It was a board laying on the floor. That might have been a wall years ago.
Now
it's a very
So he doesn't answer that question at all. Like, what? Where's the wall? Oh, there used to be boards on the ground, and I built some wall there, and then there's a board on the ground, and the Democrats, and then he does this. No explanation why the only man that could save America couldn't build a fucking wall. I'd fucking build a wall. You're commander-in-chief of the military. Take them all home. No more wars. Get the fuck back home. Guess what? Private, you're fucking putting a hammer in your hand. You're laying mortar and brick. Diamond and silk.
Materials
it's terrible.
That you had allocated for new wall.
Well, just so you know, so I built almost 500 miles. Then we were going to add 200 miles. We thought we were going to easily win the election, but the election, bad things happened. So what happened, including COVID, COVID gave them a way of cheating. So what happened is I was going to add another 200. We would have had 700 miles, which is really a good number. You needed 500. 700 would have really closed it up. After we...
So what is it? You need 500, but 700 would be better? There's a 200-mile discrepancy. Look, there's a finite line. Our border is however many 1,000 plus 100 miles. That's how big the wall needs to be. Fuck, I wish it went around the Florida and the Keys as well. I wish we had a wall all the fucking way around this motherfucker. Around in between us and Canada too. Fuck them. You couldn't do it, bro. Just fucking admit you couldn't do it. These people still love you. They still suck your dick no matter what you say. Say you're wrong every now and then about something. You fucked up on the wall. Joe Biden got $100 billion for fucking Ukraine. You couldn't get $4 for a fucking wall. You fucking it.
We built the almost 500. We were going to add another 200. Everything was bought. All we had to do was lift it up and do it, and they actually carted it away. I said,
yeah, John Fraser, Israel has a wall. You went and fucking kissed it.
So these people really want to have open borders, yeah.
You also said recently that if you're reelected, you would send special forces and, quote, other military assets to Mexico.
The Navy SEALs.
The Mexican president is very much against this. You're going to start a war?
Well, he's a friend of mine. He's a great guy. He's a friend of mine. He's a socialist, but you can't have everything. And I think a lot of him, and he thinks a lot of me. We're friends. And he said the same thing happened to him. He had a rigged election years ago. He said the exact same thing happened to him. No, I didn't say that. Somebody said I said
the president of Mexico is a ladies and gentlemen.
The truth. They said that.
But he's a good friend of mine.
So you're not going to
use the pet. I'm not going to say what I'm going to do. I mean, I may do something. Something has to be done. Look, we're losing, I think, 300,000 people.
Okay, but let me ask you, I get it, and I cede to you that there's a serious problem that's affecting
we're losing more
Americans.
money than if we were actually in a war.
But
not money.
A lot of the Republicans are saying they're going to do this.
We're losing more lives. If we were in a war, we wouldn't be losing, because I believe the number is 300,000.
Well, we can't have a war with Mexico.
I tend to agree with you that we probably shouldn't have a war with Mexico. Amidst all the things that we're currently going through, a war with Mexico would probably be a bad idea, Mr. President.
Oh, it's a war on cartels. Mexico's petrified of the cartels.
You know what would fix all those cartel woes? The previous question that she asked you about the fucking wall that you didn't build.
They're running Mexico.
But if we say
you don't have to send the Navy SEALs to Tijuana if you had a wall in between us and Tijuana.
And our troops across the southern border, you know better than I do,
Well,
that the Mexican president, if he doesn't like it, we're in a war.
I know, but, well, I'm not too worried about that war. Mexico is sending their troops
pretty funny.
into our country.
We'd kick Mexico's ass.
In the form of illegal aliens that are killing people, in many cases, that are causing lots of disease.
All right, yeah. Fentanyl, yada, yada, yada. The next question I need to get to, very important. Riddle me this, President Trump. Let's talk about COVID.
Talk about COVID. For years, you've been saying that the reason you didn't fire Anthony Fauci was because he'd been there for a long time.
Thank you, John.
That you would have taken heed.
I love
that
my
it
kitty.
would have created a firestorm, quoting your words. Then for the first time in May...
I also said I didn't listen to him too much.
I'm getting there. But then in May, you started saying, well, he's a civil servant, so I couldn't technically. The truth is, though, not only did you not fire Fauci, who is loathed by many, millions of Republicans in particular, but also some Democrats.
By the way...
You made him a star. You made him a star. This is the criticism of you. That you made him the face of the White House coronavirus task
You think so?
force, that he was out at every presser, that he was running herd for the administration on COVID, and that you actually gave him a presidential commendation before you left office. Wouldn't you like a do-over on that?
I don't know who gave him the commendation.
I'm sorry. Presidential commendations. Isn't who gives those pretty self-explanatory? Mr. President?
Office. Wouldn't you like a do-over on that?
I don't know who gave him the commendation. I really don't know who gave him the commendation.
You don't? I don't believe you.
Accommodation. One went out to Mark
Somebody
Milley, too.
probably handed him accommodation. He probably.
People probably fucking, somebody gave him accommodation. You did it.
Probably. But let me just tell you about Fauci. Fauci was very important in the Biden administration, much less important.
Blinked out. He's doing this.
He didn't want to stop China. He wanted to let everyone come in from China. I stopped it. I overrode it. I overrode many of the things he did. He was much less important to me. Now, with that all being said, he's been there for years. He was respected. He lost a lot of the respect because of COVID, but he was respected. And on COVID, if you know what I did, I let the governors run their states. And many of the governors opened up their states. Some of them didn't. Florida, by the way, was closed.
How dare you? Florida was closed just because you have a hard-on for my governor, who, let's be honest, he shit the bed when it came to his presidential hopefulness, let's say. I admit that. But I am a Floridian. I was here the entire time. We closed maybe a matter of 2 weeks. Maybe. But what you don't understand, Mr. Trump, is Floridians are ungovernable. It doesn't matter if Ron DeSantis had closed the state, which he did, and then reopened it almost immediately. We would have reopened ourselves, because we are not ones to be told what to do in the great state of Florida. And I think you understand that, despite you acting like you don't with that statement, because you fucking live here too. And your family lives here. And you vacation here. And everybody came here during the pandemic because we were the only fucking semblance of America left. I was here. Don't try to blow smoke up my fucking ass when I know that I could do anything I wanted and did weeks after we empirically found out that this virus was fucking nothing more than the glorified sniffles created to steal our money and fuck our asses. And we said no to that in Florida, despite what your arch nemesis did or did not do. Florida was not closed. You fucking it.
But if you take a look at Henry McMaster, he had his state, South Carolina, open. You take a look at South Dakota. Take a look at Tennessee. A lot of the states
I would not like a do-over on my indoor cat, sir.
Were not closed. And
I love him very much.
It's the federalist system. I allowed the governors to do that. I also allowed
my kitty.
Democrat governors to do that.
This big.
I don't think any of them.
This
none
big
of them
when he was a
did
kid.
Wouldn't you like to go back and try to clip his wings? This guy was pushing mask mandates on us. He wanted the most extreme measure at every turn.
Okay, look, I'm not one that blames a system that if you're civil service or if you have some other protection that you can't get fired, because I've done things that are a lot worse than that.
You're big on the firing.
So yeah, I fired a lot of people. I fired Comey, and that was one of the great firings. I fired Comey, and then I fired a lot of other.
Why didn't you fire Fauci? Why didn't you fire Fauci and you gave him a presidential commendation? And why didn't you fire General Milley when he lied to you when you wanted to pull troops? And he said he did, but he didn't. And you found out. You had the documents that said they lied to you and kept troops there, despite you being the commander-in-chief of the United States. And you let him go on TV and shit in your pussy, and you did nothing about it. And then you got the election stolen from you. You lost your Twitter, so you couldn't bitch about it. And now your pussy smells like shit, Mr. President. But why didn't you fire Fauci?
people in the FBI, and they were great firings because the deep state, and they were at work, and they were not good people. But I was not a big fan of Fauci. If you look at Ron DeSanctimonious, this guy said the greatest things. I can give you articles that, well, Fauci's great, he's wonderful, we love him, we don't do anything without Fauci. This went on for months.
But he didn't listen to Fauci.
He did 100%. Look,
he shut down Florida.
I will give you. He shut down Florida
for a month.
Oh, he shut it down for a lot longer. He shut down the beaches.
Didn't.
He shut down the roads.
Faggot, I was here. I lived here. We could do anything we wanted, and we did. I get that you have a hard-on for him because he's the next runner-up, as low on the fucking rung as he is. But he's not a threat to you, dude. You don't have to spit this retarded rhetoric that takes people like me who should be in your base, who should be confidently voting for you. And then I see you come on this interview and say the most retarded gay shit. And I don't. It makes me mad. I don't want to vote for you when you say such gay things. Mr. President, you sound like a fucking retard. We weren't shut down. We were allowed to do whatever we wanted. While they pissed on your buildings in New York. And you did nothing about Fauci. While your base was screaming at you to do something about it. You did nothing.
In a hospital, he was shutting down everything. He also had long lines of people getting the jab, as he called it. Let's all go get the jab.
Oh.
The guy tried to change
Wait.
history in Florida.
Hold on, guys. This is very important. Trump has something to say about, what's that, the jab?
He was shutting down everything. He also had long lines of people getting the jab, as he called it. Let's all go get the jab. The guy tried to change history in Florida. Now, eventually Florida was open, but a lot of these other governors didn't shut down at all.
He had long lines of people getting that horrible fucking vaccine. How dare that fucking Ron DeSantis praise the vaccine? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I have this video for you.
Remember, we took care of a lot of people, including, I guess, on December 21st, we took care of Joe Biden because he got his shot. He got his vaccine. He forgot. It shows you how unpainful that vaccine shot is. So
it's
everybody
great.
Go get your shot.
It
Everybody
works incredibly
go get your
well.
shot.
95%, maybe even more than that. It works incredibly
that's
well.
based.
I would recommend it to
The vaccine
a lot of people that
is
don't want to
so
get it.
based,
and a
you
lot
guys.
Of those people voted for me, frankly. But
He's gonna save America,
we have
you
our freedoms,
guys.
And we have to live by that, and I agree with that also. But it's a great vaccine.
It's a great vaccine, you guys.
Something
It's so
that works.
red-pilled and
recommend you take it,
based.
but I also believe in your freedoms 100%.
When you have the vaccine, people that do, and it's a very small number relatively, but people that do get it get better much quicker. And it's a very important thing
It
to
works,
know.
guys. It works so well. The vaccine works so fucking well. God, he's so beast.
They don't get nearly as sick, and they get better. Lindsey Graham's an example. He said, if I didn't have this vaccine, I would have died.
And you know what? I believe totally in your freedoms. I do. Bree, you got to do what you have to do. But I recommend take the vaccines.
That's so base, you guys.
It's good. Take the vaccines. But no, that's okay. That's all right. You got your freedoms. But I happen to take the vaccine.
Boo, you fucking boo. That's the only people who aren't cultist, brain-dead retards in the crowd. Boo, you fucking boo, you fucking you fat.
The vaccines do work, and they are effective. And here is my thing. I think I saved many. I don't think. I know. I saved millions and millions of lives throughout the world. We could have had another Spanish flu. We could have had, in 1917, close to 100 million people died, they say, but it was really bad. And now other countries are using our vaccines, and
He's so based, you guys.
They're tremendously successful.
You're playing right into their hands when you sort of like, oh, the vaccine. If you don't want to take it, you shouldn't be forced to take it. No mandates, but take credit because we saved tens of millions of lives.
It works so good.
Don't let them take that away from you.
Okay, so the president made news.
Do you agree with that? Right?
No.
President and I are the booster?
Yes.
I got it too. Okay, so
don't.
It's so based, you guys. Base
both the
boosters.
president and I are vaxxed, and did you get the booster?
Yes.
Yes.
I got it too. Okay, so
Yes.
Don't.
What a fucking idiot.
South Dakota didn't shut down. McMaster, South Carolina, didn't shut down. Tennessee, there are states that didn't shut down at all. They probably did the best job.
But Ron DeSantis was on
Simon, I got some stuff about Kennedy later.
a lot of pressure, especially
Might be for next show, though.
given the population, the age of a lot of Florida's
I'm
citizens.
I'm not trying to blame anybody, but he should say,
I
closed.
do love Rand Paul, though. Sincerely.
it down. Eventually we opened it, but I closed it down. But I gave him the right to keep it open. If he wanted to, I let the governors make the determination as to whether or not to close it down.
But let me ask you this, because this is the #1 question. I asked my audience, what would you like me to ask President Trump? These are your fans.
Okay.
This is the #1 question they wanted me to ask
#1
you.
question,
That
you
you
guys.
shut the country down for 6 weeks in spring of 2020. Operation Warp Speed.
Excuse me.
Rushed
Right?
through.
I didn't really.
Let me ask that
but
question.
Megan,
This is my audience's question. I got to get it out.
But I let the governors shut down. Some did and some didn't.
Okay.
Some didn't shut down at all.
He's obfuscating. He doesn't want to answer the question about Operation Warp Speed because he knows it was a massive butt-fucking failure. We got nothing for it. We got stolen from. I can't afford steak dinners anymore once a week because of things like Operation Warp Speed. A lot of people's loved ones are sick and dead, allegedly from the drugs that were produced from Operation Warp Speed. He won't acknowledge it in this interview. Ron DeSantis and fucking Democrats and he won't acknowledge it. It didn't work. It's okay to... I fucked up by believing in you. I admit I was a retard. Why can't you admit that you were a fucking retard? Just once, Trump. Just once admit about one thing that you fucked up. Because people like me who aren't absolute sycophants of yours need to see that. And you won't do it. So I'm not enthused about voting for you. Now it's a turd or a shit sandwich. And you're a shit sandwich. It's shit with some bread on it to cut the shitty taste down out of my mouth. Or just a straight up turd. Just admit you're wrong. You fucking it.
Operation Warp Speed, though.
Yeah.
That was on the vaccines. They were rushed through. They have helped, but also hurt a lot of people. And your White House actually supported mask mandates. So wouldn't you like a do-over on any of that?
Look, when this came in, nobody knew what the hell it was. It sounded like an ancient, pandemic. You thought that was from 200 years ago or from 1917. We never thought you'd have a pandemic. Nobody had any idea. We got word that bad things were happening in China, right around the Wuhan clinic. And I was the one that said it was in the Wuhan clinic. And, I stuck with
the
it, and it was.
The Wuhan clinic, ladies and gentlemen, where they give you Tdap shots and patched up your boo-boos with Band-Aids at the Wuhan clinic.
Absolutely. It came out of the Wuhan clinic. But you take a look and...
The Wuhan clinic. We're where you meet. They don't take your insurance, but you could pay cash, and you'll have a phlebotomist named Shaniqua at the Wuhan clinic.
What we did was, this is brand new. Nobody knew what the hell it was. There's dust. Somebody said there's dust coming in from China, and it's killing people in Italy, and it's killing people in France, and it's going to kill people here. And by the way, I shut it down to China. That was a big move. I saved thousands, hundreds of thousands of lives by doing it. But honestly, I don't blame a lot of people because nobody knew what it was. Now we do understand it somewhat. Nobody really understands it even now fully. But
I'll make that claim. I do. People who were unelected in the government, like the guy that you refused to fire, Dr. Fauci, sent billions of our tax dollars from the National Institute of Health to the Wuhan clinic to make this virus. And then it got out, or it got intentionally released. And that's the rap. That's it, bitch. And then they ate your lunch. And you couldn't get your Twitter back. But you're going to save America. I think that pretty much covers it. There's not that much mystery left in it. Yeah, I was wiping down my bananas and groceries with Lysol wipes the first day. But I have eyeballs to see with. And the weeks passed on. And I saw that, yeah, the China videos were fake. And a lot of the shit that I saw on TV was fake. Obviously fake. And that was the mantra here in Florida. That shit is fucking fake. And gay. So we're not going to do it. And we didn't do it. But you did it. You did a lot of the shit that you're blaming on everybody else.
Nobody knew what COVID was, and it wasn't even a name. I called it the China virus. I still do. I call it the China virus. It came out of China.
China virus.
You know, they call it COVID and COVID-19. As far as the vaccine's concerned, you had the original COVID, and the vaccine had an impact on that. And there are some people, I will tell you, some friends of mine that are Democrat, I think they voted for me, but they're Democrat, very smart people, top people.
You have
They say,
Democrat
I don't
friends?
understand one thing. Why don't you talk more about the vaccine? It was one of the greatest things you've ever done. Now think of that. They say to me, and I say, I'm not going to talk about it one way or the other. First of all, no mandates. I don't want mandates. I never had mandates. Florida sort of had a mandate because they were giving the vaccine. They were demanding everybody take the vaccine. That's another thing. But no mandates, no anything. I didn't demand anybody take it. But I have people on the other side.
All right. Well, bunch of nothing explanations. Let me go to the next timestamp here. Let's see what 28:37. What do you have to say about Trizans Peaseples? Doink.
First person died all over Europe. Nobody really knew what it was, Megan.
I hear you. Let's shift gears and talk.
That's what you hear when, like, I hear you, bud. Like that asshole at work. You're on a cigarette break, and he just won't shut the fuck up. And you want to move on. Go back to, I hear you, bud. Yeah, that wife of yours sure is a cunt. I hear you. Let's move on.
About trans and women's rights. In 2016, you said that Caitlyn Jenner, who is trans, could use the women's restroom at Trump Tower. You allowed biological men to compete in the Miss Universe pageant at the time, which you owned. A lot has changed in 2016. Have you?
Yeah, well, I have, but look, I knew Caitlyn Jenner. This is very much like the same subject we just talked about. This was brand new.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a brand new subject also. There's a lot
it hadn't exploded.
A lot of it hadn't exploded. I mean, nobody talked about it really. And so they're saying, what do you think? And people say, yes, use, no use. But I'm the one that wouldn't allow it in the military. That was a big move. I wouldn't allow it in the military. And I went to generals. I say, General.
That was kind of based. I'll give him that.
Well, let me ask you, do you like it? the real generals, not the ones you see on television, not the Millies of the world. I went to the
Ladies
real
and gentlemen,
said,
no in the military.
what do you think? And they did not like it. They did not like it. They didn't. Nobody wanted to go public with it. It's a very hard subject.
I think you're right,
ended
Simon.
it in the military.
They
now,
got some
since
shit.
This character got in, he's allowed it in the military. You know, part of the problem is you'd have to take massive amounts of drugs. In the military,
It's
you're not
coming.
allowed to take drugs. And you have to take massive amounts of drugs. So right there, it should not be allowed. But I took a lot of heat. No matter what you do there, you're going to take heat. You understand?
Yeah.
But
how do you feel?
Caitlyn Jenner, was she allowed?
Should biological men who say that they're trans be allowed in women's restrooms, in women's locker rooms, women's prisons, women's spaces?
I gotta admit, he was pretty good on
My
this.
stance on that is really pretty much what I had.
He's pretty milly-mouthed about it.
Has to be, huh?
No, they shouldn't.
Yeah, that's my stance. I mean,
I've
that's been
noticed
my
that with
stance.
him too. When like he doesn't want to just come out and say something, he answers it like this, huh? Yeah, but he will say it.
I may have allowed Caitlyn. Caitlyn's Caitlyn, right?
He's friends with all these people.
I knew Caitlyn as Bruce. I knew Bruce, and you know, Bruce was a great athlete and a very handsome person, very handsome guy. And all of a sudden, Bruce is Caitlyn.
Beautiful penis.
What's this all about? This was a
On
brand
that,
new
Caitlyn.
subject too, just like we talk about, you know, the pandemic was a subject that nobody knew anything about. Nobody knew anything about it. It was all early. You make a decision, and you make the decision very strongly.
No, I get it. Look, I myself have changed a lot on this
Yeah,
issue
I have,
since
I have.
2016. I'm just trying to figure out whether you have, in fact, reversed on it.
I don't think I've changed. I think I've just, you know, at the beginning it was such a small subject. Nobody really thought about it. But then with time you change. Where I probably took the hardest line was on the military.
Yeah, that's true. What about the children? That's become an issue now. Should children
What about the kids?
be provided with access to puberty blockers and cross-sex hormones when they're
Like she was hotter, wasn't she? At one point. I don't know about this whole look. Maybe it's just age or something, but it looks like she's had some work done that's Just get old, ladies. You look kind of weird.
minors?
I'm so against it. First of all,
Again, the YouTube video, this is off of Megyn Kelly's shit, just goes in and out. The comments seem to indicate that they did that on purpose.
I heard like 62%. When they grow up, when they're older, they're saying, who did this to me? Why did you do this to me? Second of all, the parents have to make the decision. You know, they're trying to give it to school boards and schools and things to make a decision. It's unbelievable to think, you know, I talk about mutilation.
Yeah, you're right,
sometimes in my
John. She
speeches.
still
We
looks
will
good.
stop the mutilation of children. And then I'll stop and I'll say to the people in the audience, I'll say, can you imagine that I'm talking about we're going to stop mutilation of children? But that's what it is. It's the mutilation of children. And we will stop the mutilation of children. 10 years ago, you wouldn't even, nobody would ever
Cutting off
think
the
of-
dicks,
think of it.
people.
I am telling people.
The
'cause I
dicks
guess
and
I'm
the
a
titties.
politician, whether I like it or
It's
not.
a damn shame
As a politician,
what the
as
world's
somebody
gotten
that
to.
represents a lot of people.
Fat,
I'm
poor
telling
people eating fudge
people
rounds.
that we're going to stop the
Dicks and
mutilation
titties being
of
cut
children.
off of
Who would
children.
have
I
say
hate to
anything
see
like
it,
that? You'd
folks.
think it would be
It
automatic.
fucking sucks.
So would you be in favor of a ban then on puberty blockers and cross-sex hormones for minors?
I think yes. I would.
All
Can
right.
a man become a woman?
Good Trump. Wait a minute. Let's hear that again.
People, I'm telling people that we're going to stop the mutilation.
Would you be in favor of a ban then on puberty blockers and cross-sex hormones? Can a man become a woman?
Now, should be a very simple answer, right? Like, ask me. Hey, Ryan, can a man become a woman? Nope. Not in my opinion. If you ask me in front of the Indian YouTube moderators, sure, maybe, I don't know. But if I'm being truthful, nope. It's impossible. That's a dumb gay question. Next. But how long did it take the savior of America to answer this?
I
didn't need that.
Can a man become a woman?
Let me think about this.
In my opinion, you have a man, you have a woman.
Just say no.
I think part of it is birth.
Like, why do
Can
you
the
need
man
the
give
mass
birth?
appeal
No.
by
No,
this
although
mealy
they'll come up
mouth?
with some answer to that also.
There's babies.
I heard just the other day.
There's
they have a way
peepees
that
and there's
now the man can give
ginas.
birth. No, I
Some
would say,
people are trying to turn peepees into ginas. It's a terrible
my
thing.
stance on that.
I don't know.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about the criminal cases.
Okay.
All right.
In
Well,
particular, I'm interested.
that's about all the fucking fun stuff. And then they go into his indictments, which I do think are fucking ridiculous and bullshit. But not as jazzed as I was in 2016 to vote for this guy. Look, it's just we're fucked, and we're gonna have to eat this shit sandwich. It's gonna be a slow downward spiral until we are all broke and or working in an Amazon warehouse, and you're gonna have to suck that dick. And I hope you enjoy it. It's getting pretty late, guys. I think that's about all I got for tonight. I went over a little bit. I wanted to end at 10 o'clock. It's 10:38. I am going to cut out tonight. Thank you, everybody in chat, everybody that hung out. Please join me next week. Don't have a lot of live viewers. This is a new show. I am going to be giving you guys a new parody song tomorrow. I think I'll get it out tomorrow. I'm almost done with it. Been really busy lately, but I'm going to put that out. Again, I'm going to be on InfoWars on Tuesday, and that's going to be 10 a.m. Central, 11 a.m. Florida Eastern Time on band.video. And holy shit, 3:40 a.m. What are you doing up this late, bro? Well, thank you for tuning in, Simon. But if you guys want, go check that out. And I think things are going to pop after I release this next song. Tune in next week. You can follow me on Twitter. Make sure you do that, because I might pop in during the week to do an impromptu stream. So you could follow me at Ryan Harkness _ on the Twitter machine, X as they're calling it these days. And you could get notified when I'm going to be going live. Also, sub to this channel if you're not subbed to it. And let's make this thing grow. Let's get a little community going. And that's about it for tonight, everybody. I think I'm going to go to bed. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Oh my God, CMK Shadow. I got to give you a shout out, dude. You're an old school fucking listener from the Bubba Army radio days. What is up, dude? Thanks for tuning in tonight. That means a lot to see you in here. Actually, that's really cool. But with that, I'm going to get out of here. And thank you. That was fun. See you guys later. Next week, 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. on this channel. See ya. Bye.
Deep, 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 deep.